Hello and welcome everyone. It is Saturday, May 19th, 2018. This past Wednesday was New Comic Book Day, best day of the week. I'm back in the saddle. I mentioned in my last video a few weeks ago that I was going to be away for a while and I wouldn't be able to put out a video for a couple of weeks. So here I am today putting out a video, and it's going to be a bit of a mishmash of stuff that's come out over the last couple of weeks. So a lot of this you may have seen already. I'm going to give you my take on a few of the books and some stuff that I think is pretty interesting that's going on in it. I'm going to run through a few books that came in the mail while I was away as well, and some recent pickups I got, and some movie news for Infidel, which you got in the background here. So let's get right into it. Some books that I ordered quite a while ago and they finally showed up. I got Marvel Team Up Annual #1 from 1976. Nothing super special with it, but it's just an early appearance of the new X-Men team that was introduced in Giant Size X-Men #1. It came out, I don't know, a year and a half after the other, about a year after the other one, but good one to get if you can get it. Got my X-Men #120, first appearance of Alpha Flight. Another good one. There's always rumors of them getting a movie. My Action Comics 1000, the Jim Lee Touring Edition, showed up, which is good. I ordered that a while ago before the price really jumped up, and I'm glad I did, because that's I think that's going to be a good one. And like Rogolzar on the cover there, I mentioned that a few times, so it's a good one to get if you can get it. I ordered the Perillo variant for Venomized #1. I'm a big Thanos fan, and with him on the cover, I really like that. It's just a trade dress. There's also a Virgin variant to this one, but I didn't get that one, but I like that, so I got that for a decent price. And the last one I got, man, I ordered this, I got to try to think, probably 2 months ago. It finally showed up. My J.G. Jones Thanos #17. Limited edition one, and it's that homage to Silver Surfer #4. I love that cover. It's a really nice looking book, so if you can get that one, try and find that one if you can. And I mentioned, I know a couple of people mentioned, Dan Arkham Comics Las Vegas has mentioned this, and there's been a couple articles on this. About a week ago, looks like TriStar bought the rights to Infidel, which this only came out a few months ago. So there's 3 covers for this. I picked this. I showed this in one of my videos from back in March. I think it was 14th that came out. So there's the regular cover on the left, cover B in the middle there, and then the Virgin variant on the right. I picked up all 3 when it came out, and I only grabbed issue 1. I usually grab most of the Image #1s, and really surprised to see that this one has been picked up by TriStar. Now, before you go and spend a ton of money on this, be warned. I mean, a lot of times movies get optioned and nothing ever happens with it. At this point, they've just announced that they bought the rights to it, and they're planning on doing a movie. So whether or not they actually do, we'll have to wait and see. But if you picked it up at cover price, it's a good one to get. The print run on this was only just over 14,000, and that includes all the variants. So if you find those sitting around at your shop, definitely pick them up if you can get them for cover price. It's a really good, it's a cool looking cover. I bought it actually, well, like I say, I usually buy the #1s, but I really like the cover on it, especially that Virgin variant one. That's nice. So yeah, anyways, if you're in your shop and they happen to look on the racks and through the bins, if you happen to find them, pick it up, because it's heating up pretty good. That Virgin variant, I've seen the prices in Canada is close to $30 just for the Virgin variant. So whether or not people are paying that, I don't know, but anyways. And couple more, just start by Image stuff. I didn't grab a lot the last few weeks. I showed my Spawn, oh shit, what issue was this, 285? I can't remember what issue that was. I think it was 285. Anyways, I didn't get the Virgin variant when I was at my one shop, and he forgot to throw it in my box, so when I went in to get my books yesterday, it was there, so that's one I wanted. And one, kind of in the lines of Infidel, or not in the lines of Infidel, but I did a video on this, Gideon Falls, and I recommended this title, and it's a great story. It's kind of one of those horror, mystery, thriller sort of stories. It's really well done. It's Jeff Lemire's the writer, and this is a story, I can see this one being picked up by Showcase, not so much a Netflix one, but Showcase tends to do those kind of this type of story. And it's really good. And I mean, I'm not buying it just because I think it's going to be picked up. I really enjoy the story. I like that type of dark mystery horror kind of thing. And this cover B is so cool. Try to get that one in good shape if you can. There's I got a little tick on the cover of mine, but anyways, it's really good. I recommend that one. I recommended it right from the beginning. So yeah, if you can get that one, try and pick that one up. Alright, gonna get into some DC here. Like I say, some of this stuff came out a few weeks ago, so you're gonna get a bit of a mishmash of stuff. Zima Shop, and I grabbed a couple more copies of that DC Nation Zero. I know they're only 25 cents, and they printed the crap out of it, but it's the first appearance of those Omega Titans in the back. So I picked those. They're only 25 cents. And I ordered the one for 500. You're going to see an image on the screen. It's pretty reasonable. It's only around, for me, it was about 30 bucks, which isn't too bad. I'm willing to throw that out there because it's a one for 500. And I heard they printed about 1 million of these, so that means there's only about 2,000 of those covers. And being that it's the first appearance of those Omega Titans, I wanted to get that, so that's one I ordered. This one came out a couple weeks ago, Scooby Apocalypse 25. I wasn't able to show that in my video because I didn't make it into my shop, so that's a good one to get. The cover B, I think, is going for a little more than this one, but it's supposed to be the death of Fred in there. Anyways, got that one. Sideways number 4. I thought there was a new character, but I think the characters in this are, haven't had a chance to read it. Pretty sure they've been around for a while, but I like that character. Surprisingly, I like that character. Damage number 5 was out, and that's an homage to, I can't remember what, it's a Joker cover. He's laughing and kind of the same face, but I can't remember what it was, but it's a cool looking cover. And I've been buying that series all the way through. I like it. And New Challengers number 1. I really like the cover on that. I don't know if I'm going to keep going with that that one though. I like Immortal Men, I like Damage, and I like Sideways. And I'm going to pick up all the number 1s for. I think there's one more new one coming out. I can't remember what it's called, but anyways, I got my Batman. Yeah, Booster Gold. I don't think I need to tell you what I think of that. But anyways, regular and the cover B for that one. Cover B is kind of a interesting, cool looking cover, but Batman and Catwoman in the middle, and you got it's got some other Batmans and stuff in there. It's kind of neat. Flash number 46 with that awesome Atina variant cover. That's such a good cover. And next issue starts that whole Flash Wars, so that's going to be a really, really good one to get. So I think Matina's doing some more covers on those too. Justice League number 1. I highly recommend you pick this series up. It's just a 4-issue run. There's no Justice. It's number 2. This was a couple weeks ago. Number 1 came out, and then number 2 just came out this week. And it's I really recommend you pick this up. It's one of those ones. It kind of reminds me of Avengers No Surrender, where it's obviously it's coming out every week, and the whole point of this No Justice is to set up the future of the Justice League universe and DC universe too, because the source wall was broken at the end of Dark Knight's Metal, and now you've got the Omega Titans coming through, and you've got all these other evil entities and whatever. And it's the whole point of this series is to expand the universe for years to, which will have a role to play for years to come as far as stories and characters and movies and everything else. So if you haven't picked these up, I highly recommend you pick them up, because right now they're just cover price, and you may not have any big role to play as far as price jumping up in that for years to come. But it's one that when it does, you're going to wish you had them. And they're they're like, what are they, $3.99, $2.99? They're not even that much. So highly recommend you pick those up. They're going to be good ones to get. And the last one I got, it's honorable mention this week, was Batman White Knight number 8. That's the conclusion of that run by Sean Murphy, and man, was that good. And I mentioned before, this was his kind of breakout story. He's done a few other things in the past, but this one was it, and it's left a mark. As far as I'm concerned, each issue was in the 80,000, 75, 80,000 print run range. It's introduced some new characters. Issue number 2 was the first appearance of Marion Drews. 3, obviously Marion Drews becomes the Neo Joker, and then issue 4 is the origin of Marion Drews, how she meets the Joker, as well as her first cover appearance. And that character is going to be big down the road as far as I'm concerned. And this is a series, there's already scuttlebutt that he's going to be doing a volume 2, this Batman White Knight. DC has obviously noticed how well it's done and how well it's been received. and it's gone to multiple printings for a lot of the issues. So this is one, look for this one to do something down the road. And if you haven't picked these up, this series, highly recommend you pick it up. It's really good, and it's going to go somewhere. So anyways, that's it for DC over the last couple weeks. Into some Marvel. I got a couple free comic book day. I didn't get a ton. I wasn't around, so I just asked my shop to put a couple aside. I got the Amazing Spider-Man Infinity Countdown, or Infinity, I think it's just a countdown. And there's a little story in there. I also got the Avengers one, but I haven't picked that's at my other shop. I haven't been there yet. So I also got Relay from, I believe it's Image. I think it was Image, Relay number 0. That one looks really good, and I'm going to get that series. That series looks good too. So grabbed a couple 4th printings of Spider-Man 794. Got the Exiles just because of Peggy Carter and Captain America. I don't know. I grabbed it for that. To be honest, I'm not all that hip on that series. I'm probably not going to keep going with it, but I picked up that issue. Got the Deadpool 300. I only grabbed the one cover. I really like this wraparound with all the all the Deadpools on there. I thought that was kind of cool. It's like a Where's Waldo kind of thing. Looks pretty awesome. And I'm sure all of you, or most of you, got a copy of Venom #1 that came out a couple weeks ago. So I got the regular cover. I got the Young Guns variant. I picked up the blank variant. I got the Rivera 1 for $25 variant, as well as the J. Scott Campbell 1 for $50. And I'll be honest, I'm not all that keen on that J. Scott Campbell, and I haven't really liked his stuff for a while. I like this Rivera one, to be honest. I like that one the best. So I just want to talk about this Venom real quick and show a couple things. Now, if you haven't got this one, I highly recommend you get it. I know some people have done reviews on this, and they're saying, oh, it's the same old story of the symbiote and Eddie Brock and whatever, but I really like it. I think it's really good. Donny Cates is a very good writer, and a couple things that I haven't seen anybody talk about. I've tried to, over the last few weeks, look through some stuff, and one of the first things you want to mention, the very first page, obviously he's back in ancient times, and he's talking about Beowulf. So why is Beowulf brought up in this story? And I want to run through that real quick, because I don't know if you know the story about Beowulf. Beowulf was, in ancient times, there was a poem written, it's one of the oldest English literature writings that's considered like a classic, and it deals with Beowulf aiding a king against his monster Grendel, and he fights Grendel and kills him. Then he goes and fights Grendel's mother and kills her because she's evil. And then years later he fights a dragon. He kills a dragon, but he dies during the battle of that. And some interesting thing is some link Grendel's mother to Cain, and Cain is Adam and Eve's, one of Adam and Eve's son, Cain and Abel, and who's the other one? Seth. So Cain and Abel both make a sacrifice to God, present a sacrifice to God, and God accepts Abel's over Cain's. Cain is jealous, so he goes and kills Abel, and basically at that point Cain becomes the first murderer and is banished from heaven, and becomes a fallen one and demon and all that kind of stuff. So the reason I bring that up is so this story starts out with that, and then there's obviously this ancient evil in the earth, and I just want to show you here. So there you've got a picture of Venom, and he's got this weird phoenix emblem kind of on his chest with this weird looking spiral effect on his head. And it's got this writing here, and that means God is coming right there, by the way. The reason I figured that out is right at the end of the book, he's fighting all these evil entities which have the same kind of look that he had with that spiral thing on his head, and it stabs and it looks like it's going to kill him, but his symbiote comes and basically puts him back together. So Eddie Brock is laying there, all these, they're in this truck, and they all come out and they're dead in a heap. Now they're dead, and something in the truck escapes, And Eddie asked the symbiote, what was that language? And he said, God is coming. So that's the first appearance of that evil 1,000-year-old character that was mentioned in the early writings of this when they were promoting it. And so, just got to find that page again. So yeah, if you figure out, you can so he said God is coming, so that means God is coming right there. If you look at it, it's a COMING with an exclamation mark, and that's God is coming. So you can kind of figure out what some of the letters are. There's something else written here, so it's got God is coming here, and then I don't know what the hell this means. I've tried to figure it out. There's a few letters I can pick out that are in here, but I don't know. I'm gonna try and. I like doing all that kind of stuff, so I'll see what that, and there's something else here. So, and Donnie Cates mentioned there was something, and he and only Stegman knew what it meant, and I'm pretty sure there's probably something in there that who knows what it means. But anyways, the reason I bring that up is, so you got your first appearance of this evil character, and is that somehow related to Cain, who's the first fallen one? I don't know. Find out. Kind of looks like a devil, demon kind of character. And now as far as the print run goes, the print run on this was pretty high. It was about 200,000. And I've heard people say, oh, this will never be worth anything. But you know what? Here's the thing. New Mutants 98 was 200,000 to 300,000, and look where that price in that is. And I'm not saying this is going to be worth millions of dollars, but I'm glad they didn't introduce like a full introduction of the character in the first issue, because most stores ordered really heavy on #1 just because a lot of people will buy #1s, and it's Donnie Cates and everything else. And you can almost be guaranteed that #2 will drop down significantly, probably down to the 100,000 range. And that #2 will most likely have the first appearance of that evil character. So I highly recommend, if you're on the fence about buying #2, definitely buy #2 if you can. So that's going to be a cool character, and I think that's going to be related to Cain, the fallen one. So anyways, Infinity Countdown #1, the Daredevil, is the next one in that Infinity Countdown storyline. Not a whole lot happening in that. I didn't enjoy that one all that much. Weapon. Oh, actually, before we get going any further, so talking about Infinity Countdown, there was a good article by CBR, I think, put it out, talking about so Infinity Countdown #1 came out a little while ago. So you got 1, 2, 3 so far that have been out. There's a couple tie-in ones like this Daredevil and stuff, but the interesting thing, there's a single page at the beginning of each issue. All it is a single page, and you got this little dwarf guy, and he's in a forge, and he's making something. And the funny thing is, the artwork in this, if you look through, the artwork is, to be honest, is pretty shitty throughout this whole run so far. But the single page in each issue is written by, or is drawn by, Mike Deodato Jr. and Frank Martin. And that's one page in each issue is called Forging the Armor. So the article I mentioned, I'm going to link to it below you, which you haven't read it. If you haven't, you should read it. It looks like what's happening is the Infinity Gauntlet came out as Silver Surfer #4 or 44, and it looks like what's happening in this is this little dwarf guy is forging a new suit of Infinity Armour. So this is a key, and it's funny that there's only a single page, and to me, kind of like Spider-Man 794 when that came out, that whole run, that Threat Level Red 794, 95, 96 was all about Norman Osborn getting the Carnage symbiote. And I talked about it in my Red Goblin video and mentioned that's one that was sitting on the shelf. Nobody's paying attention to it because everybody's worried about the Red Goblin, several issues later. And I said at the time, I go, you're going to want to get that because it's a key issue. And look where the prices are on that. And this is key too, because you've got this guy, like saying, this is #3. He's still working on the armor. And right at, actually, is it issue #2? You see a knife come in and hold to his, yeah, right here. So in this issue here, he's working, this is #2. Somebody holds a knife to his throat. And to me, I think that's Loki, because there's a ring on that one finger. And I'm pretty sure that's Loki's hand holding the knife to his throat, forcing him to make the Infinity Armour. So There is going to be an Infinity Armour suit made, by the looks of it, and introduced at some point, and this is going to be a key run, this whole Infinity Countdown. And like I say, a lot of times they'll put out, to me, this whole storybook, that one page in each issue is why I'm buying this this run. The artwork is really good for that little intro, and it's funny that they don't really hype that up much, but that's in there, so definitely pick those up if you can. Got Weapon H number 3. I'm liking that storyline so far. Got a few copies of Avengers number 2. I also got the 1 for $25, that one. And that one is the first full appearance of the final host, so I recommend you grab that one as well. That's a really good one to get. So that is pretty much it this week, folks. There's a couple things coming down the road that I want to talk about real quick. I mentioned Infidel is a good one to look for. Walk Through Hell number 1 came out this week. There's an image on the screen there. I didn't grab that one. I didn't. Actually, I've been away for a couple of weeks, so I wasn't up to speed on that one. But that's a good. If you can find that one, grab that one. Especially the B cover. It looks really good. DC Looney Tunes has got some one-shots coming out. They did those Batman Elmer Fudd books and a couple other ones. They got 4 more titles coming out in August. So there's Catwoman, Tweety Bird, Harley Quinn, Gossamer, Joker, Daffy Duck, and Lex Luthor, Porky Pig. I'm only getting 2. I'm getting the Catwoman, Tweety Bird, and I've ordered the Joker, Daffy Duck one. Those are 2 of my favorite characters. That one looks really good. So, Immortal Man number 3, that comes out soon. That's going to have the Batman Who Laughs on the cover. So look for that one. I talked about Infinity Wars, that new character Requiem coming out. There's an image on the screen. There's been a few new images shown of that character. So that comes out, I believe, in July. So if you want to order that one, or maybe it might be August. I think that's early August, actually. So look for that one. And a new image of Vox in Death of Inhumans looks pretty good from Donny Cates. So number 2, the issue, you'll see that on the screen as well. So yeah, anyways, there you go. Back in the saddle. Been away for a while, but everything's good. And I think I'm finally over my cold, so it's all good. Anyways, take care, everybody. Talk to you next week. Bye for now.